Andy,
Hey,
good to see you.
good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too. Why is data storage so expensive?
In most cases, outside of Pure, you have to rebuy your storage every 3 years, 3 to 5 years, right? What happens a lot of times is a storage provider comes to you and they say, hey, I've got this new storage thing that I want you to buy, right, off our truck. Now you can either upgrade your existing storage to that new thing, or guess what? Your support cost is just going to go through the roof. With Pure, we don't do that, right? We have full non-disruptive upgradability through our Evergreen Forever program on all of our arrays. So when you buy a Pure Storage array, you can non-disruptively upgrade any component of it, from the drives to the controllers to even the chassis over time as you need to, without ever taking downtime. So that downtime cost just doesn't exist with Pure. And in fact, when you look at our availability numbers, so 6 to 7 nines of availability across all of our running arrays in the field, no one else can even come close. A part of that number, by the way, is inclusive of all planned outage with Pure. No one else in technology that I know of includes planned outage in their uptime numbers. So when you think about that 6 to 7 nines, that's inclusive of all of your upgrades as well. And what that means is that because of our non-disruptive upgradability from the software to the hardware, we're able to keep so many customers and arrays running at zero downtime whatsoever in the world that we're able to lift the average to that point. Not that we don't ever have outage, because we do, like all technology companies, right? But we have so many organizations that operate with zero downtime whatsoever that we reach that point.
So I want to talk about storage costs. A lot of the time, it seems businesses are focused more on the acquisition costs, the dollar per gigabyte and whatnot. But it feels like there's a lot of hidden costs in storage. What is the total cost of ownership, TCO, for modern data storage solutions?
When you think of storage and the acquisition cost, you have to consider other components, things like downtime, all the ancillary costs around storage if it's not there, right? Because oftentimes those ancillary costs, like the cost of not having your storage, downtime, is more than the initial acquisition cost that you're going to incur, right? So you're better off focusing on what it means to have storage that has 6 to 7 nines of availability like Pure, right? And storage that has non-disruptive upgradability like Pure, versus storage that could be down or has less availability associated.
So how does Pure Storage save on costs and deliver the lowest total cost of ownership in storage?
Yeah, Kevin. So, the Evergreen model is the start, right? Evergreen gives customers a starting point for that reduced TCO. Other things, though, that are in the mix are things like our lower energy cost. By far the lowest energy cost of any storage arrays on the market. If you look at a Pure array, a flash array, for instance, operates between 1,800 and 2,200 watts, right? The same amount of power as a hairdryer or a microwave oven. Incredible. Competitive storage arrays that offer the same performance in an all-flash config can often take more than 10,000 watts of power, right? Incredible differences. Look at the operating cost. 1 FTE per 10 to 20 petabytes under management. Again, lowering the operational costs associated with the storage arrays, right? And even looking at things like densification. So over time, with the Evergreen program, you're able to trade in components that you own for full value back toward the purchase of new. So once you own an increment of Pure Storage, for instance, you own that increment forever. So if you own 100 terabytes today of 10 terabyte drives, you can trade those 10 terabyte drives in for more dense drives, maybe 10 75 terabyte drives, and we'll give you full credit for those 10 terabytes based on what you purchased them at. So, looking at total cost of ownership over time is comprised of a whole host of things. Everything from downtime to Evergreen, operational cost, energy and power, all of these things kind of play into that whole boat.
And a lot of these cascade into not just a better user experience, but as you said, lower costs overall. And it doesn't necessarily mean that people aren't going to be working on storage anymore. It means that they can be freed up to do other things. So therefore, they can innovate just like we've innovated in storage.
Absolutely. I mean, look, IT is under pressure nowadays, right? You have to do more with less. Where you can have resources that are multifaceted, where they can do things beyond just being a storage admin, right? That makes them more valuable to the company. They can now drive business value, better outcomes for the company that hopefully help to generate revenue.
Well, it definitely sounds like doing the right thing by customers is a watchword for Pure Storage.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time here today, Andy.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.